Welcome to the DLLS Rangers Weekly Podcast, now part of the All City Network. Hit the subscribe button for YouTube and also become a DLLS diehard at www.alldlls.com. Now here's Jeff and John. Hey everybody, welcome to the DLLS Rangers Weekly Podcast. This is episode number 28, and today Dylan Dreiling, who is outfielder, went from the University of Tennessee. He's going to join us. Second round pick last year. We'll talk to him about that a little bit later.
Spartanburg, right?
Hub City. He's a Spartanburger. Yeah. And he'll join us. He's doing well there, actually. And we'll talk to Dylan in a little bit. Right now, though, we got to go to the big league stuff. Lots of stuff happening. And you're going to see this today because I'm going to get it out today before tonight's game. Blaine Crim is going to make his major league debut, and I'm going to assume he's starting tonight because there's no other reason. I mean, there's no other first baseman on the team right now.
Yeah, you don't call somebody up and sit him down.
Yep, so, you don't call him. Good for him. We have talked about Blaine forever. Hey, look, with that corresponding move, Jake Berger's going down to AAA. Forgot he had options. And basically, from what I'm hearing from Bochy, it's a reset. The reset, get him right. They still have faith in Jake Berger.
Yeah, he's new to the team.
He had a lot of offseason stuff too.
Yeah, his dealing with his daughter and everything, and a trade and going to a new team. I mean, I'm not going to make excuses for him, but
no,
the Rangers,
he won't make excuses.
The Rangers have asked him to do a couple of things with the swing to help him hit the low pitch better, but he's just kind of
scuttled,
not doing very well.
Nope.
So anyway, yeah, so he's headed to Round Rock. These things usually take about 3 weeks to a month. They say short-term reset, all that stuff, but just kind of history kind of tells us that the fastest it's been that I can remember is about a month. And that was Rougned Odor, who went down there and just destroyed AAA and came back and was a really good player for a couple of years.
Yeah.
Obviously a detour for Jake, unexpected, a guy who's, was the Marlins player of the year.
Yeah.
Last year.
Popular clubhouse guy, good dude.
Awesome guy.
Yeah.
So anyway, wish him the best. But Blaine Crim has earned this. It's been overdue. We
have talked about it forever.
Years and years. That's not an exaggeration. Years and years.
I know it.
You just go look at his career AAA numbers, and there are minor league numbers. Yes,
period.
AAA numbers are great. He just needs an opportunity, and honestly, it's interesting that they chose him over Foscue because they need to make a 40-man move now, and it could be Nick Ahmed with Seager coming back tomorrow. They could try to risk it and say, all right, let's get
in an emergency
one day without a backup infielder, and they can Marcus Semien can go play shortstop if something were to happen to
Josh. And then who would you move to second base? I mean,
you'd find somebody.
Yeah.
And so anyway, I don't know that is the move. Don't take this as the gospel.
That move's coming though, because Corey's coming back tomorrow.
Yeah.
Supposedly.
And there are ways they could keep Ahmed as the utility infielder, an option. Dustin Harris. Though.
Yeah.
So anyway,
the 40-man move though, with what we're talking about.
40-man is what we're talking about. Yeah.
Probably
so it just adds up to Ahmed. It adds up to somebody in AAA. I would hope not or Nellis, but
he's the emergency infield guy.
It is one of life's great mysteries why Gerson Garabit remains on the 40-man roster.
Maybe his final days are here.
His last straw. I don't know, but anyway, a lot's coming on. But anyway, back to Blaine. He's hitting 3-something and 313 and 7 home runs and above 900 OPS.
This isn't a one-off.
He just deserves This isn't a fluke. He's done this for a year. Actually, he's gotten off to slow starts previously.
Right.
So this is a good sign.
Yeah.
And the Rangers just want somebody who can maybe hit a little.
Yeah.
And you can't, you can't send down Peterson.
No.
You can't send down Semien.
Nope.
Adolis has an option, but he has a lot of service. He has enough service time where I think he could they'd have to
talk to him.
Yeah.
They'd have to work something out with him to do it.
Yeah. Yeah. But, they're also making 9.25 million for Adolis, 15.75 for Peterson, and 26 for Simeon. So those guys aren't going down.
No.
But maybe this serves as a
warning.
And who's not to say that Blaine Crim, couldn't be the DH a couple times.
Yep.
If Jock Peterson isn't going well,
because Josh Smith can play first base.
Dustin Harris can play first base.
Absolutely.
There are ways to cover first base.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. And you know what? I can't wait to see Blaine. I walked up to Blaine in spring training, and he was in the big league camp. He always is. He's been there the last 3 years. And then, he usually hangs a little long. This year, I think he hung a little longer, but he was still one of the –
yeah.
He wasn't there at the end like a couple of them, like Alejandro and Dustin, who stayed right to the very end. But I walked up to him, and I said, you know what? You're going to make your big league debut this year. And he looked at me, and he said something it was just so humble, to the effect of from your lips to God's ears, or boy, I hope you're right. And that was it. That's all he said. He wasn't like, damn it, that needs to be, or fuck them, or, whatever.
Yeah,
Excuse my language, guys. That's all he said. And so I can't wait tonight to go, remember me telling you that when we get in there?
I remember you saying that. And, it's got to be frustrating for him because, they moved out Nathaniel Lowe.
Yep.
And moved somebody else in at his position.
Exactly.
So it's, you kind of, if I'm Blaine Crim, I'm kind of looking at the landscape and thinking,
I'm blocked.
I don't know.
They don't see me.
He becomes a minor league free agent after this year, or he could have been.
Now he won't.
Now
he won't get DFA'd.
We'll see what happens, but yeah.
Well, it's unlikely he gets DFA'd unless he just tanks.
So anyway, great for Blaine. Great for all of us. I think a lot of us take turns saying that we're the president of the Blaine Crim fan club. And that's fine. He's such a nice guy, married a soccer player. She's a soccer coach somewhere in South Carolina. I think it's actually close to Spartansburg.
Yeah.
And then, I've met his father, who's a good man. He was a subscriber to Rangers Today. So, has a soft spot in my heart. And then Blaine's been on our show 3 times. He joined once from Puerto Rico, when he was out there destroying Puerto Rico.
Did it once from his car. Remember that one time?
Time was from his car. So, this guy
always gave us time, always stopped down.
But he's also good. And again, it's you just look him up on MILB.com, and you'll look at those numbers. You'll be like, damn, why wasn't he in the majors longer? And there's been a bias that, a right-handed hitting first baseman, you have to, hit 30 home runs.
Or you got to be 6'4".
And and he is shorter.
He's 5'11", 6 foot.
Yeah, I'm taller than him.
Yeah.
And, and he's not going to win a Gold Glove at first base, but he's not a butcher either.
No.
So, it just seems a little strange that he hasn't been called up. And those are the reasons. I mean, a right-handed hitting first baseman, you really need a lot of power there. It's like, well, gosh, give him a chance.
Yeah, well, he's got power, right? So,
he added some elevation to his swing,
but he hasn't lost his average,
and he still hits. But everything points to him. And I know Donnie Ecker's not the most popular guy in the world right now, but Donnie Ecker is a huge Blaine Crim fan.
Loves him.
So and the swing changes that Crim made last year came from Ecker and Tim Hyer. So. Look, it's time. It's exciting. Is it going to cure the offense?
No,
probably not. But it might help.
Corey Seager is going to cure the offense if he can ever get back. Well, no, but what I'm saying,
once.
I know, but what I think. Look, I want to see this team with every person that is supposed to be starting on this team in the lineup and healthy for a few weeks and see what happens. Because you can mess with that. You can move that up and down. Yes, Simeon need to be out of the leadoff spot. He was just doing nothing there. He hasn't been much better, but he has been better in that 5th spot. He's actually starting to show a little improvement the last couple of games. He's been barreling some stuff, getting on bases, and doing that. I like Simeon in the 5th spot right now, and he's got potential for power too, and we know that.
Yeah, he went 6 for 12 in the A's series, and I think he walked.
He walked 3 times yesterday, didn't he?
He walked twice yesterday, so I think he had 4 walks. He reached base a lot. It looks like things are headed the right way with him. And frankly, he's tired of answering our questions. So I wonder if we'll take credit for motivating him. But
that guy works hard though.
He works hard. And people are now throwing out things like, well, are they working too hard? Are they thinking too much at the plate? Is it not fun?
The armchair GM.
All of these things. And one guy suggested to me that, they might have too much information. Just go up there and swing. Just one day, don't even have a hitters meeting. Just say, go up there and figure it out, guys. And they've probably seen most of these guys anyway. So are they getting overloaded with information? A lot of these guys have their own hitting coaches. Who are they listening to? And that's I think it's a potential problem if too many of these guys are listening to their guys. But
Donnie Ecker is the villain right now. Yeah. And my point has always been Donnie Eckert is not these guys don't sign here, come here, do whatever. And then Donnie Eckert changes their swing, he comes in. This is the guy that does all the homework, where pitch locations are, what counts to look for these pitches, work them. And if he sees something he starts trying to work with, looks like you're dropping this or doing that. But he's certainly not going, okay, we're going to redo your entire swing. That's not what a hitting coach does at the big league level.
No, but part of the sales pitch is, how are you going to get better? When a free agent comes, he wants to know how he's going to get better in a lot of cases. And so they, make their presentations and say these things. Mm-hmm. It's and they did have some recommendations for Berger on how to hit the low pitches better. That's been kind of his weak spot. He hits elevated stuff. It's the stuff, kind of in the lower part of the zone that
he's popping it up
with. So anyway, hope he gets it figured out, because the Rangers could really use a guy who could hit 30 home runs.
Yeah,
there's no question about it. But
they need anybody can hit a home run right now. What's it been? A week and a half?
Hit a home run since the last game in Sacramento. So that was a Thursday night game. So it's been a week.
Yeah, well, the ball was flying out of there though, like they were playing on a little league field. Yeah. So I mean, look, a couple of those were bombs. I mean, what was it? I think Young hit one that would have gone 450.
Yeah, and Langford hit one that was very clearly would have been a home run.
Yeah, but I mean, a lot of those looked like pop-ups coming off the bat, and they were flying out. But I mean, look, that happens in a lot of different ballparks too. But golly, there's been no slug. There's been no slug for the last week.
It's disappeared, and that's
and they scored 15 runs on singles.
And it doesn't make a lot of sense. So so why is that? Well, they're missing their pitches. All right. Well, the argument before Tuesday was, oh, they're too aggressive. They're chasing too much. And that's true. But then yesterday they're talking about excuse me, we're talking about, well, are they too passive now? It's like, well, in 3 days, how does this go from one to the other? But it it's just baseball. You hear that said a lot. But I don't know that the hitting coach can do much more. And I don't know that a change at that position
who are you going to
accomplishes anything.
Who do you go get a month into the season? There's not a reputable guy, unless you're going to go pull Rudy Harmelio off the scrap hit, who's probably doing nothing up there.
He's the Cleburne hitting coach.
Yeah, and I mean, but let's be honest, they're not going to go pull. I mean, it would be within the organization is what they would do. So they're probably right.
Well, I don't know. I mean, because Donnie Ecker it's like he's the guy in charge of the offense over the entire system, over everything, or the organization. What he wants from hitters is what Cody Atkinson, the minor league hitting instructor, also preaches. So that when they come to the major leagues, they're lockstep with what the Rangers are hoping to accomplish offensively.
Sure.
So I don't necessarily know that it would be an internal guy. Now, I mean, would Justin Veely get moved up? Well, Justin is Donnie's protege, basically. They speak the same language. Does that?
Is he at AAA?
Justin Veely is Rangers hitting coach.
Okay.
Because Donnie's the offensive coordinator.
Right.
So would that be this? Is that the same move? Does that accomplish anything? So I'm not sure what is going to happen there. I just don't know that, Bruce Bochy's never made an in-season coaching change.
Mm-mm.
He's been a manager for 28 years and has probably had a lot of opportunities to do so and has never done it. Does that mean it's right? No. But I would imagine that the manager is going to have a heck of a say on that.
Yeah.
The one thing out there though is the Rockies fired Hensley Mullins not that long ago as their hitting coach. Well, Boch and Hensley are tight. They work together with the Giants, so maybe that's a name out there. But it's like nobody's going to get the Rockies hitting.
But are they 6-26 or something like that? I mean, they're bad right now.
But they don't have any talent.
Hey, they won 2 games in a row. I saw
the Rangers have talent. So anyway, not sure. It just needs to get better. And if Blaine Crim creates a little bit of a spark, or if just the idea that, oh my gosh, Jake Berger was one of their big offseason acquisitions and they sent him down.
Yep.
Maybe that's a wake-up call for other people. Not sure, but I'm looking forward to seeing Blaine Crim.
I am too. I can't wait to get out there and see him. And look, this team is scuttling. The whole team is scuttling, except for the pitching staff. Now, obviously, I mean, is Bochy still got Luke Jackson as his closer?
I would think so. I mean, look, the walk-off loss in Sacramento last week on that Thursday night. It was there was a walk that Luke should not have done, should not have issued, but the play that Leote made, where he bobbled the ball that allowed the
runner to go to third.
Runner.
Yeah.
So there are things and then sometimes guys just not going to pitch well.
Nobody
and these guys are getting leaned on. These are high pressure situations. It's not like they're coming in with 5-run leads.
No,
they're coming in tie games or 1-run leads because the offense isn't scoring runs.
Right.
That's the number one problem with this team.
Yeah.
Is that
there's been some wasted starting pitching,
which has trickle down effects on everybody. And it means that pitchers can't make mistakes. Well, nobody's ever finished a season with a 0.00 ERA.
And no closer's ever not blown a save in a season.
Well, probably that rarely happens, but like Kirby Yates blew one last year. One.
Yeah.
Luke Jackson has blown one this year. He's had a couple hiccups in tied ball games.
Yeah.
But even on opening day, if Josh Young makes that play, scoreless inning.
Yeah.
So it's
no,
the pitching staff's fine. No need to shake that one up.
Nope.
All right.
Not that I see. The only thing they're dealing with now is having to get different arms in and out because they like what happened. Well, their last save was a 3-inning save by Dame Dunning, who's now been DFA'd again to make room for
Caleb Bosley
for Bosley and to come back up, but they had to DFA him because they needed the 40-man spot for Ahmed.
Well, all right. So Bosley could come back because the Higashioka injury.
Right.
Tucker Barnhart took Dane.
Yeah, Barnhart, not Ahmed. Right.
Yeah.
So, but Barnhart, they needed the catcher. They needed him in an emergency situation because they knew Higgy wasn't going to go. What they didn't know was whether Higgy was going to do an IL stint.
Yeah, and that sounds like it's a minor thing. 10 days. Apparently, he had a couple things going on. It's just time to give him a little break. And that's
he's been their best bat. Both the catchers have been their best bat.
Jonah's been great. Josh Smith is kind of sputtering a little, but I still trust him. Wyatt Langford, no complaints there. So but you can't have 3 guys hitting. You need 9 guys,
and you need to feel like every at bat, and you need guys that look. Somebody needs to send one out of the yard.
Yeah,
I would like to see someone just hit a home run. I mean, it's good Lord, it just no slug at all, and even an extra base hit, doubles. A lot of they had a couple doubles, but they weren't like those rocket doubles. They were just ones that went down a line, and the guy didn't get to.
Adolis was hit well the other night. he hit that ball pretty well.
Against the one where they scored 15 runs. Yeah. He did hit a rocket out there, but good Lord. I mean, anything, even the ones that look like they're going out off the plate, when they come off the bat, and then you see the guy line it up and he's standing there in front of the warning track, and it's like, God, he must have just missed that one. Jeez. But Blaine, I'll tell you what, and there's something that guys, if you've never seen Blaine play, because he hasn't been in the big league, so you haven't seen it. One thing he does, he's got a fluid, good swing, and the ball comes off his bat hard. Yeah. He hits it hard, and he hits for average. He can hit the ball. I'll never forget one time when he was, I think it was before he got to Double-A, but it was in spring training. You and I were there, and someone was on the field over here, one of those backfields, and I just decided I'm just going to video Crim hitting right here. I might have been videoing whoever was pitching, and the first pitch, Crim hit one out.
Yeah, I think that was after he'd won the batting title in Puerto Rico,
right?
And was just
taking some BP back there.
Yeah, I mean, he was just he'd been swinging a bat, so he was way ahead of everybody.
Right.
He was picking on pitchers because I think he hit 2 home runs that day. I know what you're talking about. But anywho,
but I hadn't had it right on him. I just I turned the pitch on and he hit that pitch out.
Yeah.
And that little video was one of ours that went wild for a while when we were first getting everything rolling. But I'm so happy for him. I can't wait to see him today. It's just super exciting to do that. Well, how about let's get Dylan Dreiling in here?
Yeah, another guy. Hey,
SEC guy.
He's hitting good. Let's put him on the radar.
National champion. He's a national champion last year.
College World Series MVP. So a lot of good things for Dylan. So let's meet him.
Yep, Dylan Dreiling right after this. All right, guys, and joining us right now is Rangers prospect and outfielder Dylan Dreiling, and he's in Rome, Georgia right now, where the Hub City Spartanburgers are taking on Rome. Dylan, what's going on, buddy?
Not much.
Yeah, how's the season going so far? It looks like you're off to a heck of a good start. What's working?
It's been good. I was just trying to focus more like this year on just trying to stay within myself and do what I do and not try to do too much at the plate, which I felt I did last year when I was in Hickory. So that's helped me a lot, and just trying to take it day by day right now.
Well, yeah. So you get drafted. You're coming off a national championship and College World Series MVP. And did you find yourself pressing in your first taste of pro ball? What were you? You just kind of mentioned you're trying to stay within yourself.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's pretty easy to do. You're around a bunch of new faces. It's just like being a freshman in college again. You get into like practice and whatnot, and let's show these guys what I can do, and try to overswing, do everything, and it just that doesn't work in baseball. Maybe football, but it's tough in baseball. So it just kind of carried over, and then frustration got involved with all that, and then you're just struggling. So it was tough, but
yeah. So I guess in the moment, maybe you don't realize you're doing it. So did somebody pull you aside and say, "Hey, cut it out"?
Yeah, it's kind of one of those things where it's like you're here for a reason. You don't have to do more than that. Like, you're a good hitter, that's why you're here. Like, just do what you do. So, but also in the moment, you don't really want to hear that. So,
right.
When people tell you you're a good hitter and you're struggling, it's like, all right, dude, like, I get it. Whatever.
I get it.
Yeah.
Off. Yeah. So you're doing a little bit of everything too. You got some slug, you got some steals. You're on base guy. When you're at your best, what are you doing well when you're at your best?
I mean, honestly, I would say everything. It's just kind of who I am, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
But also, I really like dumbing it down to where it's just when I'm in the box, it's whatever I can do to help the team win. I I mean, if it's me taking a walk and getting on base for the next guy, then that's fine. If it's, trying to hit a double in the gap and or a sac fly to score a guy on third, like I really try to dumb it down. I feel like it makes baseball easier. It makes it more fun because I'm not just up there, swinging for the fences every at bat and, you know, only connecting one out of every 10 to 15 at bats. So,
Okay. Yeah. It takes, I guess, some good plate discipline. It seems like that's, you can work a pitcher. Um, is that kind of been your strength? You can fight and work yourself into a good hitter's count.
yeah, I would say so. Just feel like that's kind of the type of hitter that I am. I've really been like that my whole life. Like I'm not afraid to get to two strike count. Um, a lot of guys, I feel very comfortable with two strikes if I get to that point, and I just try to uh, grind it out, pit like one pitch at a time. So
Yeah. Yeah. What generates your power? Do you have some uh, bat speed? Are you getting stronger? Because anybody who watched the College World Series saw what you did there. Um, is bat speed? Has that been one of your strengths also?
yeah, I would say bat speed. And then in my last year of college, I really got in the weight room. I was always a pretty strong guy, but I really got in the weight room and with our strength coach at school, Q, and I got a lot stronger. So I would say that helps a little bit too.
You ever noticed how strength coaches, nobody ever calls them by their real name? They always have a nickname or something. So you
Yeah.
got Q, like TCU has a Coach Cause, and like Texas used to have I can't remember his name. He's this big, huge guy that you didn't want to mess with. But
Oh yeah, I remember that guy.
nobody called him like Jeff Wilson. Whatever his name was, he was never called by that.
Nope.
So yeah, I guess when you get that big, it's like,
Yeah.
hey, we're not whatever your name is, we're not calling you that. Yeah, how much did the college ball help you um, transition? I know, and obviously the bats are different, but how much did playing in the SEC help you? And has it helped? How has it helped you this season too?
I think it's helped me a ton. Um, just like I would say it's more like little things that you don't even realize that you're getting better at. Like honestly going on the road and playing at a new park like that would be a lot different if I never went to college because
Mhm.
you never experienced that really. Um, just so much stuff, and that Tennessee was very good at teaching you and like you figuring out. So I'm really glad that I made that decision instead of coming out of high school.
Yeah, it's you see so many of these great arms that have been drafted from the SEC. I mean, the Rangers have two of them. They have Jack Leiter and Kamar Rocker, and yeah, Chase Dolander, who went to Tennessee, and you weren't there with him, but he made his debut this year for the Rockies. We're talking power arms and intense stuff. So it seems like, yeah, if you could step into a low A game or a high A game, that you've seen this before.
Yeah, yeah. There's some real arms that come out of the SEC. Uh, I
It's the
mean,
best baseball, I think, college baseball there is the SEC. Got to be honest with you.
yeah. I mean,
Yeah.
there's some of the arms are just crazy. Uh, Ben Hess this year, Jack Caglione is pitching.
Yeah.
I don't know if he's even pitching anymore, but
He's not. He's not. He's
really,
just
just
hitting the
it.
tar out of the ball in Double A.
Yeah,
Wyatt Langford's teammate. So
yeah.
that tells you just, and of course.
A crazy story. When we were Florida, so my freshman year of college, Florida was coming to Knoxville to play us in a weekend series, and everyone's like, "Oh, this dude Cags, 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 Cags." they get there, and I'm DHing that day on Friday night, and Langford comes up to the plate, and I look up at the scoreboard. He's hitting like 400 of 25 doubles halfway through the year. I'm like, who the hell is this guy? And I didn't even know who he was. And then he was the 4th overall pick and in the big leagues the next year. So
Yeah. Well, yeah. I mean, it's not just stinking pitchers either. I mean, it's good baseball. So I always ask this: are you a goal setter, or are you somebody who just, do you aim for numbers, or do you just try to hit the ball hard and whatever happens? Stay grounded, I guess.
yeah, I mean, I just hit the ball hard. I try to hit the ball hard, and I don't worry about numbers. Me and my roommate were actually talking about it last night. Like, I feel like, I mean, if you're not having a good start to the year, and then you're pressing already, you're pressing whatever. If you did have a good start to the year, you're trying to maintain it right now, and that's even harder than pressing.
Sure.
So it's just, I mean, I show up and try to, just hit the ball hard each at bat, and then if it doesn't work, then try again tomorrow.
Yeah. If you have good at bats, and if you find the barrel, the numbers will take care of themselves. That's just the way it is.
Yeah.
But anyway, I asked that question because Josh Hamilton always said, well, I'm going to hit 300 this year with 30 homers and 100 RBIs. Those are always his goals. Now, he was a freak. Like, he was a freak and could do that. But the good thing about the Rangers organization, and we talked to a lot of guys in your shoes, are, they are like, I don't look too far ahead. Like, are you? I don't know. I'd be like, hey, let's go to Frisco. I'd want to make a jump, and I'm sure you do, but you can't force it. And I think that has bitten some guys in the past. So
yep,
you got it going on between the ears. Good work.
Thank you.
Yeah. Who's your roommate?
Casey Cook.
Oh, 3rd rounder from last year. So well, maybe
North Carolina, right? Was he?
Yeah, we beat him. We beat him in Omaha.
Yeah. So does that mean you get to choose the bed? Because,
yeah, usually. I always take the one next to the window.
Does he carry your bags for you when you're going to the ballpark?
Yeah.
All right. So the way our show works is I ask these baseball type questions, and then John kind of digs a little deeper on the personal side. Not too deep. We're not going to ask you any family secrets or anything, but kind of get to know you a little bit.
Don't spoil it. I might have some family secrets on it. All right, Dylan, you grew up in Hayes, Kansas. Is that right? You went to Hayes High School?
Yep.
Okay.
Do you know where Hayes is?
I do not.
It is on I-70 in Kansas. It's about, 45 minutes west of Salina?
Oh, hour 15. But
hour 15. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
What's Salina? You're saying
that's where 35 and 70 come together.
Okay. All right.
And so if you're going to Colorado, because that's where I'm from.
That's where you're from.
We go to Salina, we stay the night, and then we take a left.
Okay. All right. Well, you said another town that I don't know what that is. So Hayes, you go to Hayes High School. From there, now, did you play any other sports growing up, or were you just a baseball guy?
Football.
All the way through?
I didn't play my senior year just because I was the fall tournament at Jupiter, like everyone's there, the scouts, blah, blah, blah. I was like, I really want to go to that. And so I told my football coach I didn't want to play.
What did you play? What position in football?
Well, my sophomore year, I played quarterback. And then junior year, our running back got hurt. I moved to running back. And I had a blast doing that. I didn't like thinking about anything in football. I liked hitting people and running the ball. And so I loved running back. It was so much fun. And then senior year, I probably would have moved back to quarterback just because, we just didn't really have any other options.
Yeah.
Now, were you recruited at all in football, or was that just fun?
No, just fun. Like, I honestly liked it during football season. I don't know. I liked football more than baseball at times, but obviously I wasn't as good as it. So,
okay. So now listen, you ended up going to the University of Tennessee, won a national championship. Awesome. Now, obviously you were recruited. So any other schools you consider? Did you almost go anywhere else, or was Tennessee it?
Yeah, I had a couple like Missouri. I talked to Missouri a little bit. I was supposed to talk to Arkansas, but I committed to Tennessee. I actually called the Arkansas coach. He didn't answer, and then I committed to Tennessee like right after.
Oh
And
man, huge mistake by Keith Van Horn.
I
Yeah.
uh, I chose Tennessee because they were the I was so Missouri was recruiting me as a pitcher, and Tennessee told me I could two-way, so that's why I committed to Tennessee because I always wanted to hit, but everyone else was just recruiting me as a pitcher.
Now,
Dave Van Horn.
Dave Van Horn was
Keith
the
Van
coach.
Horn's the basketball player.
Okay, so that's who he missed your call. And then now, were they recruiting you both ways too, or was it just Tennessee that was off?
I have no idea because I never talked to them.
How hard were you throwing in high school?
Well, so whenever I was getting recruited, I was in eighth grade. Like June after my eighth grade year is when I started talking to coaches, and I was throwing like 83 from the left side. I guess that was pretty good as eighth grader.
14, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, and so I started talking to people, and then I knew some guys that played for him at Arkansas. Talked to them because so my grandpa's he's been a coach for 40 some years in Kansas. He's on a couple different Hall of Fames for coaching. Like
Oh, that's
pretty
awesome.
yeah, and
Sorry.
so he's coached some guys that played at Arkansas, and then he's also pretty good friends with Frank Anderson, who's the pitching coach at Tennessee.
Okay.
So that's kind of all the connections, and
Okay.
I mean I just kind of fell in love with the way V ran the program and all that. So
What now? I think I think you would agree that Hayes is remote. It's not a suburb of Kansas City or anything like that. So how did you what did you do baseball wise, like in the summer or even select ball? How did you get noticed?
yeah, so I mean after my like all of high school in the summer I played in Atlanta or Florida, really. And I would just go down there, uh, either with or without my parents, and just kind of hung out. I had an aunt and uncle that lived in Atlanta, so I'd live with
Okay.
them whenever I was in Atlanta. And then I remember one time I was in Atlanta, drove down to Florida with a teammate because my parents weren't there. They were at work, and they were coming down to Florida, but they were driving.
Oh man.
Yeah, because my whole family was coming. They're driving. It's like a 24-hour drive, and I was the leadoff batter on the away team. Swung at the second pitch to ground it out to first, and I tried to beat it out. Lunged at the base, hyperextended my knee. Tournament was over, and they got there 30 minutes before the game. So, but yeah, I mean,
Oh
I
man.
was just played down there all the time. It was a blast too.
Now you got hurt your senior year of high school, right?
Uh,
Hamstring.
yeah, a lot of hamstring issues that year.
Okay, so this is kind of stealing John's thunder, but um, did that were you thinking you would get drafted that year, and the hamstring kind of spoiled it?
I really have no idea. It's so like the draft and everything, such a weird concept to me. And like I've seen so many guys that like they're gonna get picked this year that don't get picked, and it's like I have no idea. I'll just wait it out.
All right.
Well, so when you got to Tennessee, though, you obviously knew you had a chance to get drafted. When did you really know? Hey, you know what? I'm gonna get a chance to play pro ball. Was it that junior year, or maybe between your freshman, sophomore, junior, you started seeing scouts or talking to
You
scouts?
only had 2 years, right? You were
Yeah, I
drafted
was
as
a sophomore
Yeah.
eligible. Yeah, I mean, I kind of got there and I struggled at first in the fall my freshman year, and then I ended up having a really good fall. Like I was one of the best hitters on the team, and I was like, dang, like I might get to play a little bit this year or whatever. I just couldn't. I struggled pretty bad in the outfield. It takes a lot for V to trust you in the outfield. So or just on defense in general. So, I got a couple DH starts, and then summer before my sophomore year, that was like, all right, like I need to get a lot better at defense. If not, I'm not going to be able to play here. And so, I did. I got good enough till I could play on that team. So,
yeah.
And then scouts start talking to you.
yeah, yep.
Yeah. So, John, ask the draft question.
Yeah, dude. So you were taken in the second round by the Rangers. And now a lot of this is a fun question I always like to ask because there's some guys that know you're going to be at the top of the draft. You're one of the top draft picks, and you'll go to wherever the draft is. And you see those guys. They're there. They get drafted. They come out. Now you weren't one of those guys. You were taken high. So where were you at? Were you watching the draft? How'd you find out you'd been taken?
Yeah, I was just watching it in Hayes with my family. My family was there, and then 5 of my closest friends, and then Cal Stark was there from who we picked up undrafted free agent from Tennessee as well. So my teammate from college.
Okay. And who called you? Who was the first person did they call you before you were drafted, or did you just see your name?
No, so my agent called me, and I was like on the phone with him as my name was popping up on the TV. So I couldn't hear. Everyone started screaming. I couldn't hear him, and then the phone just kind of dropped. And I guess he probably just hung up on me. But
yeah, I mean, you had a little leverage. You could have gone back to school. Was that a consideration?
Yeah. I mean, a little bit, but it
worked out.
Yeah, it worked out.
Who called you from the Rangers organization? Who was the first one to call you?
So I think it was CY. And so right after it all happened, someone called me to do like an interview. And so I'm doing this interview on the phone, whatever. And then I check my phone, and CY had called me like twice, and it went straight to voicemail. And so that wasn't, I was like, damn, like, that's not good. And then I was like, yeah, like I had an interview. Sorry. And he talked to me a little bit, but I got a lot of texts that night from like pretty much everyone in the Rangers organization. So it was pretty cool.
Nice.
Now, do you remember where you reported first? Did you go to Arizona pretty soon after signing, or what'd you do?
Yeah, I went. So I drove back to Knoxville. I worked out there for a couple days, and then flew to Arizona.
Yeah, a little hot there, huh?
Yeah, it was like 115 every day. It was crazy.
It's crazy. It like hurts your skin. It like makes your skin stink. Yeah.
All right, now we're gonna a little more. Now, what's your favorite type of food that you like to eat? Are you a pizza guy, steak guy? What's your favorite?
Steak guy.
Now, what's the cut you like? You like a ribeye or what?
Yeah, ribeye or New York strips are all right too.
Okay. So if you have to now, I know a lot of you guys are usually on some kind of diet plan, but us fat guys, we have to do it
yourself.
Hey, well, yeah, that's true. I'm trying to get smaller here, but sometimes you have to hit some sort of fast food joint just to get some calories in you. You guys eat a lot because you use a lot of calories, so you eat a lot. What's your favorite? What's your go-to fast food?
Wingstop.
Wingstop. Oh, I like Wingstop. The cat and I do that once a month.
I eat Wingstop like probably 2 or 3 times a week right now. It's not good, but it's so good.
How do you like your wings?
What's the flavor?
It's hot honey, a little spicy, but also it's like a little sweet. And then the ranch at Wingstop is the best ranch you'll ever find. So
it is good. Yeah. It is good. Now, do you get the fries also? They have that seasoned fries, or do you just get like the veggie stick stuff?
No. I get hot honey seasoning on my fries.
Oh man, you do it all.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't like a seasoned fry.
I do.
I like salt. Put salt on my fries.
That's it. No, I would agree with you, but the Wingstop fries, I feel like they just don't put any salt on it. So it's like you have to get something on there.
Okay, there you go.
We need to talk to him.
Okay, well, I've got one right around the corner there.
I think Wingstop's based here.
Yeah, I think they are out of Dallas. There's a lot of them in the Metroplex. I got 3 of them near my house.
Something for you to look forward to.
Absolutely. When you get to Frisco, Frisco's your next stop. And when you get there, we'll come out and see you. I watched you a little bit in spring training. We're out there. We'll definitely, when we get you guys on, we're going to get you on multiple times.
Yeah.
Come back on another time, especially to do that. Okay. So if you got a home cooked meal, it's a birthday, whatever's a big deal. Who's cooking your favorite home cooked meal? And what is it? Is it grandma? Is it mom? Is it girlfriend? Who cooks your home cooked meal? And what is your favorite home cooked meal?
Well, my favorite meal would steak, mashed potatoes, and then like asparagus or maybe like Caesar salad. That'd be probably my go-to. And then my dad would cook the steaks, and then my mom would cook everything else.
All right.
That's good. This guy's after my heart right here. I'm telling you right now.
Did you go to Bojangles a lot in Tennessee? Did they have Bojangles?
They did. I don't think I've ever ate there.
Is that a burger place?
It's a fast food place. They're known for like their chicken biscuits, and it's a big thing in the South.
Do you like burgers?
Oh, love them.
Burgers.
What's your burger place you like? Now, in Texas, the big thing is either In-N-Out or Whataburger. Do y'all have Whataburger in Kansas?
No, we don't. I don't. I think I've been to Whataburger like a couple times, but nothing crazy. In-N-Out, I had that in Arizona. That place is good.
Yeah.
I really
what about Hayes? Do you got a place there that you got your good burger?
My favorite place in Hayes is Freddy's. I don't know if you guys have heard of that.
They're around here. There's Freddy's around Dallas.
Yeah, like super thin patties, and the fries are really good. Everything is really good.
Now, what about at Tennessee? Was there a place in Tennessee, in Knoxville, that you loved?
No, I really didn't eat out. At Tennessee, my sophomore year, I tried to really get into like eating healthy and all that stuff. So I think every single night in the fall, I cooked chicken, rice, and green beans. By the end, I couldn't even eat it because it was getting so old.
Oh, I can imagine. But look, that when you're my age, you got the metabolism now. You can actually eat a few burgers.
They work out all the time.
Then you work out.
So what is it like to go to a football game at Tennessee?
Yeah,
it's pretty crazy. It's fun though. The tailgates are awesome, and it's pretty loud in there.
Yeah.
Were you buddies with a lot of football players?
No, actually. Usually, I would text a couple of them, but never like hung out with any of them. But they're good dudes. It's just kind of our schedules don't really like.
Yeah.
Tennessee, of course, is embroiled in the NIL controversy with the quarterback.
Yeah.
How about that? Holding out, and where did he end up? He ended up somewhere else for less.
He's at UCLA. He's at
UCLA. That's right.
Yeah, making probably more or less money than he would have by a lot at Tennessee. So
less money, more expenses.
Yeah.
Yeah, you put your hands up. You're like, okay, look, I'm not gonna get it.
Well, I mean, everything is good at Tennessee. The basketball team. Rick Barnes. I'm a big Rick Barnes fan.
Yep.
But Dalton Connect was an awesome scorer 2 seasons ago, and then this year's team pretty good.
Yeah.
Chaz Lanier.
Yeah.
And then next year, I guess we just signed the number 3, like our biggest prospect of all time at high school. 5-star. Yeah. So hopefully
one and done guy probably.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, the basketball. That's how that normally works.
Yeah.
So do you still go back to Knoxville in off season or anything? You still got buddies?
Only had one off season.
Well, yeah. But I mean,
last year I did go back to Knoxville for about 3 months until Christmas time. Then I kind of just stayed home. So I think that'll be the plan for now. I don't really know where else I'd go.
I mean, you can work out there.
Yeah.
The facilities.
Yeah, perfect to work out there, And it honestly depends on who goes. Like last year, a lot of my good buddies didn't go. Blake Burke didn't go. Kavaris Tears, Christian Moore. So hopefully next year that changes a little bit because I think last year is just our schedules. Like every team's a little different with their, off-season camps and hitting, lifting, everything camps.
Yeah.
So hopefully it'll be a little different this offseason.
Maybe you'll go to the fall league. Who knows?
Yeah, that may be a place you're headed to.
Yeah.
Okay, well, listen, we've kept you long enough. This has been fantastic. We'll get this out a little bit later. I got one more question.
One more question
that I got to do. So I always end it on this one. So I'll give you some examples. In fact, one of the guys that making his big league debut today is Blaine Crim. But I always ask guys, what is something that nobody knows about? In this instant, it would be Dylan Dreiling. I asked Blaine Crim that, who told us, what's something that nobody knows about you? His answer was pretty funny. He's talking about, I used to take batting practice when I was a kid naked.
in the house.
In the house.
5.
When he's like 4 or 5.
15 here.
Yeah,
right?
yeah. It wasn't like right before he got drafted or anything. Anyway, but that was funny. We had a couple of guys. One of them got his finger cut off.
His finger cut off.
Your general manager, CY, his response to that was, I'm a true crime documentary guy. So if he ever gets free time, he likes to watch those true crime documentaries. He's kind of into that. What is something that nobody knows about Dylan Dreiling?
Well, I guess I'm gonna have to steal CY's answer and say that me on the road, me and my roommate Casey, we watch a rom-com movie every night, and I mean, people like kind of make fun of us a little bit about it, but they're good movies, so
Deservedly so. So, what's your favorite rom-com?
The other night when we played at 11 a.m., so we got to watch 2 that night. We watched Holiday and After. So I mean, Holiday's a pretty good movie, and then the After series is pretty good. I like so.
My son would dig it. I've got a son who's about to graduate high school, and he's actually going to go to the other UT, not your UT, but Texas. Yeah. He's heading there in the fall. So, but he's a big rom-com. He likes to watch those rom-coms too. And he's heading off for his first college experience. But you know what? Those are fun. I like them. I've always liked them too. I think they're good.
Well, I mean, that's good. That's a good way to get in with the ladies.
Absolutely. Because it's all just like the movies dealing with women.
Well, I just Googled best romantic comedies of all time. And they have Bull Durham on the list as one of them, and it kind of is in a weird way.
Well, what about For the Love of the Game?
I guess
but that wasn't a comedy.
That is a rom-com. It was on Netflix.
Yeah,
on the rom-com list in Netflix.
What, For the Love of the Game?
Yeah.
You should watch. It's kind of an action movie. It's called Night and Day with Cameron Diaz and Tom Cruise. That's a pretty good movie.
Yeah,
you'd like it. All right. I'm not going to go there, but that's pretty good.
There's nothing wrong,
and I'm glad that you felt confident enough to admit that.
There ain't nothing wrong with that. You kidding me? That ain't no. We gets here. We'll have to get in touch. We'll hook each other. You tell me a good one, I'll get one from and tell you. That'll be a good one.
All right, there we go.
Yeah,
there we go. We get the rom-coms going. Dylan, listen. Look. You guys are busy. You got Billy's very busy schedules. We totally appreciate when you guys stop down to talk to us. You got anything else for him?
No, sir. That's we really enjoyed this one. We enjoy them all.
Yeah.
We appreciate your stopping down and talking to us.
Absolutely. And listen, hopefully soon we'll knock on wood or whatever, but maybe you'll be gracing our Metroplex here and you'll be here in Frisco. We run up, try to get to a few of those games also. But so happy for you. Congratulations on the success. And by the way, have you gotten your national championship ring yet?
Yeah, we did. We got it in Arizona. They're pretty sweet. So
nice.
All right. Well, next time we do it, we'll have to see if you can show us a picture of it or something and get that on.
Sure. I can get you guys a picture.
Absolutely. Hey guys, that's Dylan Dreiling. We're going to go down in the bus leagues right after this. Dylan, thanks so much and good luck, bud.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you for having me.
All right, a big thanks to Dylan Dreiling for joining us right there. That was a fun one.
Yeah, he's got a little personality to him.
He does. That's a fun one. Hey, listen, don't forget the Round Rock Express sponsoring us on this. Not only down in the bus leagues, but the entire minor league show. Want to pop in and talk about them and what they've done. Look, if you want to see some good baseball, go down to right now you can see the Rangers previous starting first baseman who'll be playing down there. But Round Rock Express, that's a great venue. That stadium is fantastic. It's a lot of fun down there. You get to see some really good baseball down there. We can't appreciate them enough.
Yeah, and it's their 25th season, so they're doing promo stuff all season. So they're out of town right now. Out of town meaning they're in Sugarland this week. But
that's outside of Houston, so you can go down there if you want to go that way. And go
it's not that far away.
Absolutely. But no, we want you to go. We want you to go down to Round Rock. We want to get money to their stuff. Hey, listen, down in the bus leagues, you know that we've been doing the minor league recamps, trying to get 4 or 5 of those out a week, or I have. But this one we're not going to do today because Jeff and I are going to touch up on how the week's gone, each team at each level, and what's going on in certain players there. So we're going to start out. We always start out in AAA Round Rock, our sponsor, by the way. Round Rock Express are 15-15 right now. They're 5-5 in their last 10. They lost last night, and they're in second place.
They're just even Steven. 15-15, 5-5.
All
right.
That's it. And down there, the guy we always talk about who's been playing well down there, well, he's not down there anymore.
Right.
So we got to go to Foscue, I guess.
Yeah, well, Foscue's hitting the ball real well.
Yeah.
I tell you who's hitting the ball well is Ezekiel Duran.
He is.
He's
since
over
he got
300. And this is why you send a guy like that down. Let him go down there.
Get everyday ABs.
Every day.
Every
day. And get back to the point where he can help the big league club.
It's hard to ignore it. It's hard to ignore a guy that's hitting like that.
Sure. And that's what they want to happen for Jake Berger.
That's exactly.
I did want to mention Evan Carter. Who is playing more regularly now. Yeah. He's played 3 straight games.
Been on a pretty hot streak too.
Times. Hitless last night, but people are saying, "Oh, we got to get Evan Carter back." The Rangers need Evan Carter. They need the 2023 Evan Carter.
Right.
Yes.
And I think he's still there somewhere.
I agree with that. But right now he's the 2025 Evan Carter, and they're trying to figure out how much he can play. He had to make a swing adjustment to take some pressure off his back, making sure that works out. And it's looking like
it's working.
It's not bad. But you still need it to be. You want him to be the 2023 guy. I mean, when he was in 2023, he struggled, came back from that little wrist injury, and just started tearing it up.
Yeah.
He
forced the issue.
Went to Frisco, was great, or went back to Frisco. He was in Frisco pretty much the whole year. Then he went to Round Rock for a couple of days. It seemed like,
Yeah.
It was pretty funny. He played for Round Rock, but he never played in Round Rock because they were on the road. But anyway,
he forced the issue.
But that's the Evan Carter you want back. Evan Carter right now, I don't know how much he helps.
No.
Just going to leave it right there.
Well, look, Evan Carter right now is the Dustin Harris right now. He's the gonna face right-handers. He looks and he's hitting the ball well. And Dustin Harris right now has no cause right now that he should not be here in Evan Carter.
It's just he's not. If the Rangers don't think he's ready, if they're still trying to figure out the back, how much the workload. It looks like it's gradually building up, but he still needs to be where he's at for a couple more weeks. Bruce Bochy said that. I don't know. We were talking to him on Tuesday. Maybe he said that's a few more weeks. So tap the brakes, make sure he's right, so that when he comes up, he is closer to that 2023 version.
Absolutely,
what we saw last year and in spring training.
Absolutely, and on the pitching side, I mean, the guys that are performing well on the pitching side keep getting called up to the big leagues. Caleb Bosley, who I got word the other day that someone told me that he came out of that game early the other day because of a back issue or something like that, and that wasn't true necessarily.
He seemed just fine yesterday, walking through the clubhouse carrying his bag.
We saw him leaving the other day. He was carrying his bag. So
the guy who has been really, really good is Cole Winn. Still hasn't given up a run yet.
Nope.
That's pretty exciting.
He did walk a few the other night.
He's pitched 20 innings. And has given up only 1 run, and it was unearned. So he's on the 40. So
I wondered if he
likely to see him soon. Daniel Robert was DFA'd, and then the Rangers struck a trade yesterday morning to not lose him for nothing. Wish him well. He hadn't allowed a run either, he'd allowed a run, but he was pitching great.
Yeah,
he's just an older guy. That's kind of the thing that age catches up to these guys.
Yeah.
It's like, gosh, they're not really prospects anymore.
Right.
So anyway, that's what I got for you.
Yeah, that's it. Let's go to Frisco. Frisco, hot team. They're in first place. They are 14-10. They're 5-5 in their last 10, and now they're on a bit of a skid. They've lost 3 in a row.
Oh no!
But Frisco has played well all year.
They have,
and they're not getting blown out by anybody. The other night they lost 7-0. They got skunked. the other night. But of course, there you're talking people like Walcott, who's playing well. Alejandro Osuna's really, he had a little bit of a slow start, just slow getting off. He was hitting the ball good, but nothing was dropping. He's really kind of turned it on.
Now he is
the guy from spring training,
sizzling. He's hitting 300 OPS over 800. Walcott's maybe slumping a little bit, but the good thing about Sebastian is that his walk to strikeouts are pretty close,
pretty even. Yep.
And I think that's something significant, especially when you look at him last year.
Sure.
I think that's a really encouraging sign for him. He's not on his way to the majors. People calm down.
Yep.
So and
force
then,
the issue.
Josh Hatcher has been good, and look, keep an eye on Cooper Johnson. He was in big league camp.
He's catcher, right?
Catcher with not sure what's going to happen to Tucker Barnhart when Higashioka comes back. It's unlikely the Rangers keep 3 catchers.
Yeah.
And Tucker,
and he can't be options. Yeah.
So you could see Cooper Johnson in AAA here, not too far away. And Bobby Wilson talked about him when we had him on the show over the offseason about how Cooper's a pretty good defensive guy. And he's got 3 home runs this season in Frisco. So pitchers know him throughout the system. So
if pitchers love you get a job.
Let's keep an eye on that guy.
Yeah. Okay, so let's go down to Hub City, where Dylan Dreiling's playing. Yep. Spartanburgers, they're in their inaugural season with a brand new stadium. They are also in first place. They're 14-10 right now, 6-4 in their last 10. They have won 2 in a row. We also got Dylan Dreiling there on the offensive side of the ball. The pitcher there that everyone's talking about is Davalillo.
Yeah, he's pretty solid. He had a great year last year, and the Rangers really slow played him because he was just dominating. Low A there when it was the Wood Ducks, and now he's picked up where he left off. He might even
Finstermaker brings those names up.
Might even be better, to be honest with you. Aiden Curry had a nice outing last time. He pitched
scoreless. 6 innings, 7 strikeouts.
Guy who's been on the show. Jose Gonzalez is another guy. We're still waiting for word on our buddy Paul Bonzani. Waiting to hear about his elbow situation. But these are names that honestly, in some cases, have been at high A for a while. Larson Kendrich, big left-handed guy. He's having a great start to the season. Wouldn't be surprised if he gets moved up soon, just because he's just been there for so long.
Yeah.
But good arms throughout. Some of the college guys who were drafted last year. Anthony Susak. I think he went to Arizona. He might have been an Uber driver. We may need to get him on. But the hitting side, we talked about Dreiling and Casey Cook, who's struggling a little bit.
He had a good night the other night, though. Casey Cook was the offensive player for them the other night.
Keith Jones, who hit the home run the other night, and his dad was in the booth, on the radio when the home run was hit. So that was kind of fun. If you guys haven't seen that, check it out. And then Malcolm Moore, just as a reminder,
he's injured, right?
The first round pick last year, still nursing a broken finger, so he's probably
can't catch with a broken finger.
It's this throwing hand. You can't
throw with a broken hand. Yeah,
I don't know which finger it was, but I think it was his index finger. But anyway, he's on the mend though.
Yeah. Well, a finger is not. He's going to be back this year.
Didn't have to have surgery. They can make up the at bats in the fall league.
Absolutely. Those splinting, give him rest, and probably right after the All-Star break at the worst, he's back out there playing every day.
Yep.
Broken thing. I've broken many fingers. They heal pretty quickly if you take care of them. All right, let's go down to Hickory Low A. It's the lowest of them. Hickory Crawdads are 4th in their division. They're 11-13 right now. They're 4-6 in their last 10, and they're the scuttling one. They've lost 4 in a row.
Oh boy. Well. That's the nature of low A.
Yes.
Up and down, up and down, up and down. And then you kind of look at their batting averages, and it's what you see.
Still, Martin
he's dipped below 300 though barely. But a lot of these guys are just struggling. Yeremy Cabrera, he's under 200. This is a guy who dominated last year in Arizona. So. Just be patient with them on the hitting side. Pitching side, some guys who we always are intrigued by young arms. Caden Scarborough, He's a popular one now. The fifth or sixth rounder in 23 out of high school, so he was young and one of those projectable guys. Thomas Ireland, who's been around for a little while, he actually threw live batting practice yesterday to Corey Seager. They flew him in, and he threw live BP. So that's kind of cool. Yeah, but some guys with some college experience, some guys who are just drafted guys. But Brock Porter has finally given up some runs, but nothing to be worried about there. His walks are under control.
That's the main thing.
The velocity is still there. So Mason Molina, who was in the Grant Anderson trade, he's pitching well. So, but he's a college guy. So, these are kind of guys like Molina who you would expect to be in the first wave of moves when these promotions start happening. And they're not that far away. It always seems like mid-May.
I wondered
when that stuff starts to happen.
Well, like Crim's position is kind of swapped when you've got Berger going down there to play first. But you wonder when Hatcher or Josh Hatcher is going to get that move to AAA, which I think he deserves. Well, this is another guy that's tearing up AA. Look, he's a little bit older, but he's tearing up AA, and I think AAA is the obvious move for him.
Yeah, but you have to look at guys who have outs in their contracts. So and you saw the Rangers traded Matt Festa the other day.
Yeah,
it's like guys like that who are going to get moved out or get an opportunity somewhere else, and the Rangers aren't going to stand in their way. That's I wonder what Sam Haggerty's contract situation is. So and I guess he might be a guy to keep an eye on if struggles continue or if they need an infielder, though he can't play shortstop, and that's always the big one.
Yeah,
you got to be able to play shortstop. That's the utility infielder,
right? And Foscue, who plays infield, but he's not a shortstop. He's played at some, but he's not defense isn't what got him drafted.
They're a little weary putting him at second base, so they're not suddenly going to say, "Hey, why don't you play shortstop?" So.
Well, that's a guy that could have come and played first base, like you said. He's done some of that, but no, there's no reason that Blaine Crim shouldn't be getting this shot.
Yeah, I think the difference between the two is that we've kind of seen Justin up here, and it hasn't gone great. So give Blaine a chance, and go from there. And again, if Blaine doesn't work out and they want to try Justin in the short term, well, Blaine's on the 40 now, so he can be optioned.
Yep, absolutely he can, and that's what'll happen. They won't expose him to a DFA unless he just tanks and they're finally done with him. But that ain't happening. I don't see that happening. I'm just glad he's on the 40. He makes more money now in the minor leagues too. If he goes back down there, he's deserved this, and he'll get his chance now.
Yeah, 19th round pick.
And of course, tonight, if he goes 0 for 3, it's a complete failure, and they should just get rid of him.
19th round pick. Like I was saying in the first half of our show, little Mississippi College. Met his wife there. She's a great soccer player. She's a soccer coach now, and in South Carolina. And he's from Mobile, and if Mobile's a baseball town. I know they produce football players, but you look at their history and. Who's the best player out of Mobile, Alabama? Hank Aaron. So that's where the list starts.
I've heard of him.
You have all kinds of guys. It's former youth league teammate with Bubba Thompson.
Oh, that's right.
Bubba played together.
Bubba's playing football again.
Yeah, that's right. So anyway.
Well, guys,
that's about all I got.
Yeah, let's wind it down. That's another show in the can. Thanks everybody for watching this one. We'll be back next week to get this thing rolling again. Don't forget to go watch that daily show with you and Rads. Y'all get that thing out every day. You do after the very last game of every series. They do a post-game show doing that. The minor league recap still going down. Hit the subscribe button. Go over to DLLS Sports and hit the subscribe button there. Join All City Network. Do all of that, guys. There's beat writers from everybody covering every major sport, and Stars are in the playoffs right now. You can be over there watching
game 7 coming up.
Yeah, they'd be watching that Stars podcast going on. That's going to be going on. Of course, Cowboys just had their draft. There's a lot to talk about there. I mean, this is DLLS Sports is providing it all. Guys, that's it for this week. We'll be back next week, but until next time, see you at the yard.